Greeting the chairman, presenters, and audience. I am Siriphanlop, working at RSU Cyber University office in Rangsit University, and the presenter of this study, designing the web-based web-based language learning using game design element in an EFL context. The author is Ajahn Warapon Mahakel, the lecturer and associate dean for special affairs and international relations. The purposes were to develop the web-based language learning using game design elements and to explore the satisfactions toward WBLL. The methodology were Hutchinson and Walter issued in 1994 in about designing a course and as shown in the screen. Next one is Dublin and Austin, issued in 1990, said about designing a course and course context. This figure explains about the step involved in designing English web-based tutorial adapt using to design game. The exit syllabus was used to plan and web game by using who, why, what, when, and where, considering to the objective, material section, approach, and activity. Then we has evaluated the plan and make the storyboard. Sample and data collection were from 90 students in English major, liberal arts of Rangsit University. Two types of collected data from the questionnaire. One, background from the participants consists of gender, age, studying years, English educational background, the level of English writing proficiency, and grade average. Second, the identification of the grammatical errors. Moreover, we have selected 5 experts in the educational technology field to do the satisfaction questionnaire toward WBLL. Data procedures use SPSS version 22.0. The background information was analyzed in frequency and percentage. After current problem were identified, it was analyzed in frequency, percentage, and mean, as well as the 5 satisfactions educational technology expert data was analyzed in frequency, percentage, and mean. The result was divided into 3 parts. Firstly, the data collected from 90 participants, most of them were female, 59%, 65.56%. In the age of 20 to 21 years old, 43%, 47.78%. Studying in the second years, about 90%, 100%. And they have the educational English educational background more than 10 years, about 53%, 55.89%. Next was the grammatical feature that the learner needs to improve. The vocabulary knowledge often in 31%, 33.56%, and very often 30%, 33.33%. Sentence errors and spelling in very factor were often 24%, 26.67%, and very often 23%, 25.56%. Secondly, there are two sections of WBLL development. For student section, the student can use the responsive website, which can play both on mobile device and computer, personal computer. The content in this online game were divided into sub-dialogue. The number of chapters is depend on the syllabus, one chapter per one topic. For example, students can play and learn the activity uses in chapter 1. There are two characters in each chapter, player and non-player character. The player read the sentence and type and click to choose the answer. After the conversation ends, the player listens to the voice question about the contents they read and type to answer. At the end of each chapter, the score were counted from two parts of the exercise. The player can see their score and other players' score in the leaderboard. This is the teacher section um, uh, on web page. The researcher plan to apply to other subjects related to conversational learning. The instructor or admin can design and add the content into this page. They can use in other subjects and languages. This is the page for the add the content. Thirdly, this table is about the satisfaction toward WBLL from 5 experts in educational technology field. They satisfy the quickly responsive interactive system, most in 100% mean of 5. The lowest factor were the uses of the web-based interface and user-friendly and convenient font size and style, mean of 3.8. Conclusion. From the for the making web application, I use a Marvel app used to design the web prototype for the graphic. The student from design of digital art faculty was hired to draw the character. The background picture were downloaded from FreePic website. And to create the responsive website, the programmer created by HTML5 computer language. To develop the WBLL was led by 5 experts who has a high satisfaction with the overall mean 4.24. The participants show positive attitude toward WBLL. They would like to use more web activity during and outside class time. Online game web can be integrated in the course. The limitation was it doesn't have another it didn't have another comparison group in this study. Further research should use inferential statistics to analyze the collected data in order to get more detail of result to draw the conclusion. If you have any question, please feel free to ask within the time limit. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you ค่ะคุณศิลาพร for another study on WBLL, right? WBLL,
Yes.
web-based language learning. All right. Okay.
Yes.
So I have just some little comments. So first, I think what you need to do first is to give definition or to describe more about what game design elements are. What do you mean by game design elements?
Using a game like a score, like a let the player feel fun and challenge of doing something, and also get the knowledge from what they do.
I see. So, so more like collecting score and feel like they are winning
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah. And we has the leaderboard that the player can see their score and the friend score, that they can feel that they have a challenge between the players.
I see. Okay. All right. So, so from there, then I think what could strengthen your study is to find out or at least discuss which element of the game is good for which area of knowledge, like which kind of which element is good for vocabulary, which is good for grammar. So if they can feel fun as well as be, I mean, as well as learning something effectively, then it's going to be great, right? So I think you can investigate into the details, like which element is good for which skill, which area of
Uh,
English skill.
yes, yes. I at first I have played for many games and
Mm,
adapt using some parts of the game apply
mm,
to the situation, like for example, for this study we use the conversation, and for grammatically
mm,
features.
mm, And if possible, I don't know much about computer, but usually when I do something on computer or something like computer games, I feel like I'm passive, like I'm just pressing this button or choosing this button, but it would be more more in more interesting or using more of my knowledge if I can do something active. So instead of just choosing or pressing certain button, if I have also to create conversation or produce sentences, then it could be more active, right? And they get to practice in the active way. I don't know if it is possible in terms of web design though.
I think actually everything can possible when the actually at first we have to see the objective of the making the
Mhm.
game or something, web design. So firstly is the objective, secondly is the about what the content we have to put it in the website or game.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that's why you work with อาจารย์ Warapon, right? So,
Yes,
oh,
yes, sir.
oh, good,
Yes, yes,
good
yes.
match, yeah.
Because he has the student, I don't have the student.
Ah,
Yes, I working in like a technology in educational technology field.
mm,
In this study I decide conversation, like the exercise,
mm-hmm,
and based on the syllabus,
mm,
and decide a storyboard and
mm-hmm,
prototype and connect to the programmer
mm,
to create the web game. Yes.
mm-hmm. So you are not teaching English. Your English is okay. I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much.
So yeah, keep on, keep doing a good job. Yeah, and good match with Ajahn Volapon. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, cool. So that's all for me. Any more questions from the audience can always be put in the chat room, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I got one question.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
All right. So, what would be the focus skill of the contents in the web-based learning here? So, is it writing, speaking, or a mixture of skills?
Pardon, sir.
Oh, what would be the focus skills of the content in the website? I mean, do the student will have a chance to practice speaking? Will they have a chance to listen to songs or conversations? Or the focus is on only one, like grammar?
อาจจะต้น I think it's your part นะ
No, Siriphan, try to answer this. To answer the question from Ajahn Vishnupong, is actually we come up with the dependent variable right here. It is called grammatical ability.
Okay.
It is the ability that can be defined like learners can construct sentences or with grammatically correct and structure and use it appropriately. So that's the reason why we have this dependent variable. But if we talk about further study in the future, this is pretty much like a trial, because when we talk about grammatical ability, it is quite not as small, but in terms of the instruction, we should move to another skills, more complex skills like writing, like what you said, or other speaking and listening skill. Yeah. And back to our lovely chairperson right here. When you talk about the interaction, it should be more interactive. And I totally agree with you. So that's the reason why me and my co-researchers trying to make it more interactive, and using the gamification theory, trying to make it like more getting the corrective feedback right away, and try to make it like not a passive one, because we have much concern about that. We don't want to create this web page to be just things that they can click and get the right answer like that. So and I think that Ajahn Apinan has the question right here. Why do game go well with grammar? Ajahn Vishnupong, maybe you can help me answer this one too. Because both of us used to be like the speaker, like the invited speaker to many schools, and we talk about like game-based learning approach, and we talk about gamification, and
that's based on my own experience, I think that the students get bored easily when they have to learn grammar, right? So for when we use game, the student can learn along with playing games. Sometimes they don't even know that they are learning, Yeah, so games help like increase the levels of motivation, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. And when it went back to our keynote speaker, talk about a lot about intrinsic motivation, because there are a huge number of benefits when we talk about game design or gamification, and the language learning. So when we talk about this, I think when we employ or we try to adapt the features or the technique of game-based, grammar instruction will not be boring from now on. Yeah, thank you. ขอบคุณครับ Dr.
ขอบคุณค่ะอาจารย์วรพจน์ I should try something like games too, because I also teach grammar, and they get bored. You can ask Vishnupong. He get bored too.
No, never. Thank you.
So now